Have you ever noticed something? Some people dream insanely big. They want to be rich. They want to build companies. They want to create impact. They read motivational books. They watch interviews of people who became great. They soak up every secret to success. And every night, they feel fired up, motivated, like tomorrow they will crush it. But morning comes, and suddenly, that fire is gone. The goals they set, the plans they made, they try for a few days, maybe a week, and then motivation disappears. They're back to normal. If this sounds like you, listen closely, because this video will change everything. In this story, you'll see how Greg, a brilliant, ambitious guy, ended his laziness for good. He discovered the morning rule of Miyamoto Musashi, the greatest warrior who ever lived. A rule so simple, yet so powerful, it stops laziness dead in its tracks. And here's the thing. You need to listen to this story all the way to the end, because this might be the exact story you need to finally take control of your mornings, your discipline, your life. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to stop wasting your mornings and become the best version of yourself every single day. Greg graduated as the best student in his set. There was no shock, no disbelief, no raised eyebrows. Nobody was surprised. Not his lecturers, not his friends, not even his family. From a young age, Greg had always been that child, intelligent, sharp, and consistently ahead of the curve. When lessons were introduced, Greg didn't struggle to understand. He absorbed them. While others needed concepts explained twice, Greg understood them once. And while others were still trying to catch up, Greg was already moving forward, quietly building his lead. Success followed him naturally. So when a reputable cybersecurity company offered him automatic employment immediately after graduation, it didn't feel like luck striking at the right time. It felt earned. It felt logical. It felt expected. For Greg, it was a dream come true. Not just a job offer, but confirmation. Proof that all the sleepless nights, all the effort, had finally paid off. His future looked clear, stable, and promising. Greg didn't just work hard, he fed his mind daily. Motivational videos, success stories, interviews of people who started with nothing and built empires from scratch. He listened carefully. He imagined deeply. Greg spoke about the future with excitement in his voice, about wealth, about impact, about influence. He didn't just want to succeed, he wanted to matter. Greg wanted to become the richest man in his state, not just for pride, not just for status. He wanted respect, the kind that comes from building something meaningful. He wanted power, but not to oppress, but to create, to build companies, to create jobs, to change lives. He wanted to help poor children get educated because he knew what struggle looked like. He had watched his parents sacrifice, stretch themselves thin, and fight to train him. He carried that memory with him. Greg wasn't dreaming small. He wasn't chasing comfort. He was deeply ambitious, but Greg had a problem no one noticed. Not his friends, not his colleagues, not even Greg himself at first. His mornings. Even though Greg woke up early, his phone woke up earlier. Every morning followed the same harmless-looking routine. Nothing dramatic, nothing alarming. Just checking messages, just scrolling a little. Just one YouTube video. Minutes slipped into tens of minutes. Tens became hours, and just like that, time disappeared. By the time Greg finally put the phone down, something important was already gone: his energy. The motivation that felt powerful the night before had quietly drained away. Greg wasn't lazy all day. He worked. He showed up. He tried. He was just lazy every morning. At night, his mind came alive with plans. Businesses, wealth, influence, a better future. At night, Greg was ambitious. In the morning, he was tired. One morning, Greg had a major presentation at work. This one mattered. People would be watching. Decisions depended on it. He woke up early, ready, focused, certain this time would be different. Then the phone came out. What again? just for a second, just to check something. When Greg finally looked at the clock, his heart dropped. 10 a.m. For a moment, his body froze. Then panic hit. He jumped out of bed, rushing to get ready, his mind racing faster than his hands. Anger burned inside him, anger at the phone, anger at the morning, anger at himself. Frustrated, ashamed, embarrassed. At work, he tried to explain, tried to soften the story, tried to lie his way out of it, but his manager didn't buy it. The silence said everything. Greg was suspended. Walking home alone with his thoughts, something finally became clear, painfully clear. It wasn't that he lacked ambition. It wasn't that he didn't care. The truth was simpler and harder to accept. I don't lack ambition. I lack control. That night after being suspended, Greg couldn't sleep. He lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, replaying the morning again and again. Every second felt heavier than the last. The moment he reached for his phone. The moment time slipped away. The moment everything collapsed. Anger filled his chest. Then frustration. Then disappointment. Deeper than both. He already knew what his problem was. It wasn't lack of talent. It wasn't lack of intelligence. It wasn't lack of ambition. It was control. But knowing the problem didn't make it disappear, and that was the most frustrating part. Unable to sleep, Greg reached for his phone. The same device that had betrayed his mornings for years. This time not to scroll, not to escape, but to search. Motivational videos, productivity hacks, self-help advice, anything. Anything that could help him stop wasting his mornings and finally take charge of his life. Hours passed. Most of it felt empty. Generic advice, temporary excitement. People talking about motivation he couldn't hold on to. Nothing stuck. Then one video made him pause. The title read, "How Miyamoto Musashi Beat Laziness and Became Unstoppable." Curious, Greg pressed play. The video told the story of Miyamoto Musashi, a legendary samurai who faced impossible odds and still became one of the greatest warriors in history. But it wasn't the battles. It wasn't the victories. It was one sentence. Greg paused the video, rewound it, played it again. Something inside him shifted. All right, listen closely, because this part matters. Here's the rule Greg discovered, and I'm telling you, if you actually apply this, your mornings will never feel the same again. Musashi said something very simple, but very dangerous if ignored. Do one hard thing every morning before the world wakes up. Not to feel motivated, but to decide who you are. Now pause right there. Notice what he didn't say. He didn't say feel inspired. He didn't say wait for motivation. He didn't say set a perfect routine. He said decide who you are. That's the key. And don't overthink one hard thing. This is where most people mess it up. It doesn't have to be dramatic. It doesn't have to be painful. It doesn't have to impress anyone. The goal is simple. Start your day with discipline. Before your phone, before social media, before excuses, wake up. Because the first thing you do in the morning tells your brain one thing. Who is in control today? Let me explain why this works. And no, this isn't just some motivational quote. Science actually agrees with Musashi here. First reason, willpower is strongest in the morning. When you wake up, your brain is fresh. Your decision-making energy is full. But as the day goes on, you spend willpower on everything. Messages, conversations, stress, choices. By 3 p.m., decision fatigue kicks in. That's why people say, I'll start tomorrow. I'm too tired. I'll just scroll for a bit. So when you do one hard thing first thing in the morning, you win the most important battle before resistance shows up. You don't fight laziness all day, you defeat it once, early. Second reason, it creates a keystone habit. Harvard research shows that certain habits trigger a chain reaction. One meaningful action early in the day affects your focus, your confidence, your discipline, your productivity. You wake up, you do the hard thing, your brain switches modes. Suddenly, you're not chasing the day anymore. The day is following you. Third reason, and this is the most powerful one, identity. This is where everything changes. Your brain doesn't change because of motivation. It changes because of repeated behavior. Each morning you do the hard thing, your brain quietly notes, "Oh, this is who we are now." You're no longer trying to be disciplined. You're acting like someone who already is. Motivation becomes irrelevant. Habits take over. That's how identity is built. Silently, automatically, daily. So here's how you start. And keep it simple. Pick one hard task for your morning. It could be push-ups, stretching or a short workout, writing or journaling, planning your day, meditation, a cold shower. The task doesn't matter. The timing does. Do it before touching your phone. No messages, no notifications, no apps. Same time, every day. No negotiation. That's it. One hard thing, every morning. This rule changed everything for Greg. The very next morning, instead of reaching for his phone, he got out of bed and did one hard thing. It was simple, deliberate, uncomfortable, just enough. Maybe it was a short workout. Maybe journaling, maybe planning his first task. The action didn't matter. The decision did, and something strange happened. At first it felt small, almost insignificant, but the rest of the morning fell into place. His focus sharpened. His energy increased. There was no rushing, no mental fog. The day felt different. Day by day it became a habit. Hours that used to disappear on his phone now went into learning, building skills, planning the future, creating. Greg wasn't just completing tasks. He was taking control before the day could steal it from him. The mornings no longer ruled him. He ruled his mornings. Within weeks, his life started to shift. He felt more confident. Laziness lost its grip. Ambition stopped being just imagination. It became action. And slowly, almost without noticing, Greg realized something powerful. Discipline shapes identity. Doing one hard thing every morning didn't just improve his productivity. It reshaped who he was. He had discovered something ancient and timeless. Something science now confirms. Small, consistent morning actions change your brain, your habits, and your life. From that point on, Greg wasn't the guy who got suspended because he scrolled his phone. He was the guy who decided his day before the morning even began. And that decision, that small, deliberate choice, changed his life forever.